Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee, my name is Kim Georgeton, a homeowner, parent, and business owner in Lebanon, Warren County, Ohio. I find myself at the epicenter of what appears to be a coordinated criminal enterprise between some elected officials hiding behind their attorneys and their lobbying firms, who are serving corporations, not citizens, while using our taxpayer dollars, all the while avoiding direct answers to the public, the very people they answer to. It is troubling when I hear stories of village council or township officials laughing at their constituents. This is utterly unacceptable. Because of the urgent and seemingly harmful situation, I am here today to ask you to adopt an immediate 36-month moratorium on new hyperscale data centers, server farms, and related AI infrastructure statewide. My position is not anti-technology. In fact, I have a 25-year career in technology, which is why I understand the issues deeply revolving around data management, and artificial intelligence. My position is pro-Ohio families, pro-responsible growth, and pro-constitutional governance. While the state proposes studies, our communities are experiencing harm driven by secrecy and apparent coordination, which feels a lot like collusion. NDA agreements signed by public officials behind closed doors keep communities in the dark, unknowing of the progress, and also exposes the ignorance of the public officials regarding the concerns of their constituents. Other states, national organizations, and respected institutions have already documented problems with hyperscale data centers, and Ohioans across counties have come out overwhelmingly against them. First, our constitutional rights. The U.S. Constitution, 4th and 5th Amendments, and the Ohio Constitution, 14th, 15th, 16th, and 19th Amendments protect our privacy, property, due process, freedom of movement, and water rights. Rushed data center approvals with minimal notice or closed-door deals deny us meaningful due process. Proposed hyperscale data centers can scream constant 60 to 100 decibel noise from fans and generators. There's 24/7 security lighting, and waste heat can turn quiet neighborhoods into industrial zones. Property values drop, excess water constraints and pollution, and loss of quiet and privacy. Our communities become radioactive and our enjoyment disappears. Worse, freedom of movement becomes suspicious. And surveillance is already here. Flock cameras blanket Ohio communities from Dayton to Columbus suburbs to Cleveland. Every vehicle is tracked, logged for 30 days, searchable nationwide. Citizens want these gone. Hyperscale data centers add their own AI analytics and software that can mine your data 24/7, creating a citizen's report card, and potential autonomous artificial intelligence can make decisions which stifle your voice in the town hall of social media, especially if you say something prohibited. We saw this during the Biden administration and even still today. Together, they create a chilling effect. People hesitate to drive, walk, gather, or even comment online freely. This is not the Ohio we want. Second, the economic reality. Proponents promise jobs and revenue, but the reality is fewer than 50 to 100 permanent jobs at any facility. Mostly, they're out-of-town technicians. Construction is temporary. Meanwhile, we pay. PJM Grid, that serves Ohio, data centers drove 70% of last year's $9.3 billion cost increase. Residential bills are projected to rise about $16 per cycle here in 26 to 27, just from capacity charges. Utilities like AEP Ohio have faced accusations of inflating data center load forecasts, inflating transmission and capacity costs that ripple out 50 miles or more. Small towns and councils are often making decisions that exclude these impacted radius areas, violating the constitutional rights of the broader communities. New substations and other infrastructure will quietly be added to our tax burden, and we do not consent. This is taxation without representation. Ohio has already given away $127 million in tax breaks to data centers in 2025 alone. The lack of action in the State House makes us subsidize big tech while our rates climb faster than inflation. Third, the environmental toll. One large facility can use up to millions of gallons of water daily for cooling, enough for an entire town. Electricity demand equals entire cities, often pulling from fossil peaker plants again, impacting Ohioans within a much larger radius than is currently being considered. Uptime Institute's 2025 global survey shows most operators still under-track water use. Many facilities remain high consumption in our variable climate. And noise, light pollution, heat islands, and farmland loss, these harms are irreversible. And what happens when these companies depart after their tax abatements are gone? We're left with giant empty buildings. New House Bills 646 and 650 are responsible, but while deliberations continue on the public dime, paying for salaries, hearings, and staff time, communities are facing mounting frenzy and costs. In addition, taxpayers fund retained firms like Bricker and Graydon and its subsidiary Argus Consulting to push these projects forward, placing a layer between disclosure and the public, which violates Sunshine Law. These officials will be held accountable. This is unacceptable and must stop immediately. Shoving data centers down the community's throats while our tax dollars pay for the legal bills is a moral turpitude. Every month of state delay is another month of rising rates, taxpayer dollars and lost farmland in our backyards. Some townships have passed or are advancing moratoriums, but citizens are scrambling around trying to understand which path forward to stop this train of abuse. Recently, Wilmington officials made a zoning change after hours, preventing the community members from immediately acting on a referendum, forcing them to miss a weekend of signature gathering. This is abuse of procedural authority. The House should take a responsible approach and support constituents over corporations immediately before more harms are caused. Chair and members, our Ohio Home Rule gives us authority and duty to pause now. Use the pause for the independent studies you want, full environmental and ratepayer impact reviews, and binding community agreements that protect us. Understand fully the impact to Ohioans' constitutional rights. Give us the right to be forgotten. Laws like CCPA and GDPR allow us the opportunity to protect our own likenesses and voices online. Hold corporations accountable instead of backpedaling after citizens uncover concerns. A moratorium on data centers is not a no, it's just not yet. It protects our rights, our wallets, our water, our roads, and our freedom to move without fear of looking over our shoulders. I respectfully ask you to introduce and pass a 36-month moratorium today. My written testimony stands as a more complete statement, and I believe you have copies of that. Thank you for your service to our community.